Have you ever wondered why your Python code feels so slow when your computer isn't? Now, I know Python isn't C++. I get it, okay? But it's because Python is waiting. It's waiting for files, waiting for APIs, waiting for stuff it doesn't actually have to. And this is where asynchronous or async programming comes into play. You've probably heard this term. This is what makes your programs faster without all that extra hardware. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to introduce you guys to how to use async and await in your code with Asyncio to get some real speed out of our Python code. Welcome to the channel.
Alrighty guys, we're going to jump right into asynchronous programming. And to do this, we're going to use a built-in Python library called asyncio. Now, or async.io, right? Asyncio. Now, you don't have to pip install this, okay? It's built in with Python, which is amazing. This is going to allow us to create asynchronous functions as I really break all this down. Now, I've put here a few examples for you guys because not all the time do we want to be building asynchronous functions. They serve a specific purpose. So I wrote here some good ideas of when you could use them, right? Web requests, file reading or writing. If we have database ops, we have API calls, or really any type of input-output operation. This kind of ties back to web requests or HTTP requests. These take time. And sometimes we don't have time, or we do, but we want to speed this up. Now, bad use cases for this is any kind of math stuff, mathematical operations, image pre-processing, or any intensive CPU work. These don't always work the best. Now, what we need to really get started is I have asyncio time. These two are built into Python, which is great. We don't need to do anything else. Okay, we are going to be using a library called aiohttp, which really allows us to make what we can call non-blocking HTTP requests. Unlike requests, which is blocking, okay? And I'm also going to be using requests. Now, these two you will need to pip install. Additionally, you don't need this. I'm using something called Ice Cream. It allows me to print things off in a glorified way for readability for you guys. If you want to use it, you can. I'm going to link a video somewhere for you guys here. I've covered Ice Cream and how you can use it to speed up your flow. Now, enough said. So we need to pip install these if you want to. Okay, open your terminal, pip install these. And right here, I already have just a function built out. In this function, I am making calls, requests to these URLs. These URLs are nothing. They really just allow us to practice with this, and I can delay the operations, in this case, for 1 second. Now, when I run this, I want you to see how long this takes because really we are looping through the URLs. We're getting information back from that request and then we're printing it off for each one at a time. And you can see that happening here in the terminal. This is what Ice Cream does, okay? But the output request of print is over here on the right. And you can see that, look, all in all, that took 10 seconds. Okay, that is not optimized. I could be running all three of these URLs at the same time. That's where asynchronous programming comes in handy. Now, before we rebuild this function into an async function, let's just do an introduction here. I'm going to build out a simple async example to where you guys can get involved and understand what this is. So I'm just going to say basic async example. I'm going to go down here because I just want to strictly focus on this basic example as we touch on some new keywords, right? Specifically, we have async and we have await, right? These are the words we're going to be using. These are the Python keywords.
Hey guys, real quick, if you're getting value from this video, help out the channel, hit the like button, drop a comment, and subscribe. I actually just found out that 83% of you guys aren't subscribed, but you keep coming back to watch the video. So help me out, come in, join in on the crew, and subscribe. And if you guys want to get the most out of your Python journey, the link's in the description. They're dedicated to helping you grow wherever you're at in Python. If you're brand new, the first link is my Python Masterclass, where you can get 20% off your first month. That's the first link in the description. I take you guys from A to Z with a structured roadmap that I've built out over the last 4 years. Everything from interactive lessons and quizzes all the way to my handcrafted Python ebooks. You can get live Q&A sessions, or you can get one-on-one coaching. It's all a part of the masterclass. Head on down, check it out. And my Python newsletter is also down there, absolutely free. I just released the Python roadmap on the newsletter, so come in, become a reader, subscribe. Everything down there is for you guys. Enough said, back to async programming.
So when we want to define an asynchronous function, we're just going to use the word async, and I can use def just like I would before. So let's just call this async starter. There we go. Good enough. This isn't going to take anything, and I'm just going to print off here. I don't need to IC anything. Let's just print off basic starter example. Okay. Now, really, this function can be called multiple times at the same time and run concurrently. That's kind of what async does, right? Async is like start a request, but don't wait for that request to be finished. Run the other requests at the same time. Okay, so that's kind of what async is doing. It can be run multiple times, and then if we want to pause and let the program run, that is when we use await, right? So async is just start running, don't wait till it's done, run the next operation. If we want to wait, that's when we use await. Okay, so coming down here, I'm going to create an internal asynchronous function. Let's just call this something simple, do work. This is going to take some type of text, and this is going to take the number of seconds, for example. And inside this function, let's just print off a few things here. Okay, so remember, you can use print. I'm just using IC for you guys for this. I'm going to print off the name, and we're going to say this is starting. And then I want to wait until it's done doing that specific operation. So here is where I would use something like await. And I'm going to say asyncio, we are going to use sleep. And let's just sleep for 1 second. Okay. And then again, we're going to do IC, and let's just say this name is done, or it's finished. When the function is completely done, I'm going to return the name, and we are just going to say done. Okay, so this is an internal function that we can call when we need it to. This can be called multiple times and run. Now, how would this look? How would this work? How can I call this multiple times and run them all simultaneously? Well, if we have different tasks down here, right? Task 1, task 2, task 3. We could run these all at the same time. And how we would do that is we would say asyncio, and we're going to use create task. And this is going to call the above function or whatever function it's linked to all at the same time. It's going to call the first one. It's not going to wait for it to return anything. It's going to call the next one. It's going to call the next one. Usually in Python, it would call the first one. It would wait for a response. Then it would call the second one. We don't want that here. That's what asynchronous programming is. Now inside here, I'm going to call the function we made, which is do work. And I need to give it, like I said, name and seconds. And so name, let's just say, is a string. Seconds is going to be an integer. And this is just going to return to us a string. Let's just call this like the video. Let's give this like, it takes 2 seconds for this operation. And let's just drop this in here a few more times. Let's say like, comment. If you guys have any questions, drop a comment. And of course, subscribe to the video if you're not already subscribed. 83% of you guys aren't subscribed, which is a crazy number to me. So if you've watched a few of my videos, you're coming back, hit the subscribe button. That really helps. Let's bring that 83% down. We have these 3 tasks, okay? So all run at the same time. Is kind of what's happening here. Okay, we're asynchronously calling these functions. And then inside here, I can create a variable called results, and I'm going to await. And I want to await all of these returning the value at the same time. So I'm going to say asyncio. We have a function called gather, and gather is going to allow us to do that. What do I want to gather back? I'm awaiting the return of task 1, task 2, and task 3. Down here, I'm going to print off, let's just say results. and let's get back the results. Then just to add some space here, let's just do an empty print. Okay, so this is an asynchronous function, right? Async, I'm going to start this function, and it's not going to wait for it to be done. It's going to continue to call. And then internally, right, this is a really good use case of just an asynchronous function. We have 3 tasks. It's going to ideally call these all at the same time. They're going to work together, and then it's going to await the results of all of them, right? So ultimately, right, if all of these are being called at the same time, like takes 2 seconds. This should ultimately return data back to us in roughly about 2 seconds, maybe a bit more. Now let's test this. Okay, so going down here now, we are going to go here, and we need to now call this asynchronous function. In order to call this, we're just going to say await, call the name of your function, so async starter, and then because we're using asynchronous functions, we need to convert this to become one. That's our main function. We are now awaiting that. And then we're going to say here asyncio.run, and we're going to put main inside of that. And I spelled, you can see here, asyncio. Awesome. Let's run the code and let's kind of watch here what happens. Boom. How fast was that? Now the first one ran slow again. Okay, I could have turned that off, but we're going to build around this. That's 9 seconds this time. The next one, you saw how quickly that just popped up because they all ran concurrently to each other. It awaited the response time and then it outputted everything back to us. The like is done, comment is done, and subscribe is done. If you guys have done all 3 of those, type done in the comments. And that helps us speed that up. Now, okay, I built out a basic asynchronous function for you guys. That's cool. But really, I want to go back up here, and this took 9 seconds. The first time it ran, it took 10 seconds. Let's rebuild this to roughly become an async function. Okay, so let's come down here. I'm going to say async, and I'm going to kind of build out the same thing, but we're going to call it something different. Let's call this async requests this time. Okay. And internally, we need to modify this function to be able to handle this. Really, we can just go up here, and I'm going to take all of this, okay? But we need to modify this. Now, I'm going to say making fast requests, okay? Because this is meant to speed everything up. Now, inside here, I'm going to create a function. Let's call this get URL, for example. This is going to take a session, it's going to take a URL, and it's going to take a number. Inside here, let's print off, and we're just going to say request. We're going to give it the number, and we're going to say it's starting, just so I can visualize what's happening here. And we can say here async with session.get the URL as a response. And really, I want to await the response.text. I'm going to get some text back from this that it returns, and I want to await what we get back, right? And down here, we can print off. I don't want to print off all the text because this is just a dummy URL for us, but I'm going to say here request num done. Okay, so we are now making requests again. But this function is going to be called multiple times on each of these at the same time to speed up the flow. In the first example, we didn't have that. I just ran this on each URL. It had a wait to get something back. Requests is blocking us from doing that. This is why we imported aiohttp, that library, to help us through this. So here is that asynchronous function. Roughly, it's doing the same thing. But this async, this session that we made, this context manager, this can be called concurrently multiple times on all 3 of these URLs at the same time. And each time it runs, it's awaiting the response from an individual URL. Okay, so all of this is gone. We don't want that because we're now calling them multiple times. I'm going to say here async with aiohttp. We are going to say client session. There we go. as a session. Okay, so I'm using that because we're fetching data from a URL. And I'm going to create a list of tasks. And we can just make a list comprehension for this. I'm going to say get URL. We need to give it our session. We need to give it our URL. And we need to give it a number. So for the number, I'll just say I plus 1. For I and URL in enumerate, we are going to give it the number of URLs. So 3 times. Now, this is doing all the work in a single line, so we still need to await the response that it gathers back for us. We've used gather before. What am I waiting to gather back? All my tasks. Again, we're going to print off the time just to see it. Going down here, let's bring everything up now. I'm going to turn off the starter example. And we're really just going to focus on calling this now to see how fast it runs. So down here, we can turn off async starter. And we are just going to say await. What did I name that? We called that async requests. Done. Okay, let's call it and let's see the time comparison. And then I will go back through it with you guys one more time. There, it's slow, right? This is the first request we're doing. Right? Now let's speed it up. Okay, you can see here, it was never awaited my list. So going up here, tasks is multiple items. We need to target that. Boom. That's incredible. Okay, so if we do that standard with the requests library, you can see it's taking 12.5 seconds. By making asynchronous requests, we're achieving the same goal, but we got that down to 3.2 seconds because they're running concurrently. Okay, this is the real power. I'm going to leave that here in the terminal. Okay, that is, geez, I mean, we cut that speed down incredibly, right? So what does async do, guys? Ask yourselves that. It allows us to start a function and we're not waiting for it to return a value. We're going to start the next function. We're going to start the next function, right? When you do want to wait for the value to return, that is when we use await, right? It's not pausing, right? This function can be called multiple times concurrently. So can this context manager here. I can get the response from the URL multiple times. This can run 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Each time it runs 4 times concurrently, 1, 2, 3, 4, we are awaiting the text response that we get back, right? So all in all, that is how we could speed up, right? Types of requests we're making, any type of I/O operations by building out these asynchronous functions. Remember, we don't want to use them all the time, but they are beneficial in certain scenarios. When are they beneficial? Right? Web requests, anything to do with files, databases, API calls. Use them. Try implementing them into your workflow. When are they bad? Anything really basic, anything CPU intensive, image pre-processing. Those are a few examples of when you might not want to use it. All in all, this is your introduction to asynchronous programming.
And there you guys have it. I just showed you how to get some serious speed out of your Python code. Now, I know Python isn't C++. We all do, okay? But with asynchronous programming, you now know how to speed up operations in Python. And you saw we went from what, 12.4 seconds down to 3.2 seconds? Incredible. Right? The first link in the description is my Python masterclass, so be sure to check that out, as well as my Python newsletter. But if you guys just enjoyed this video, help out the channel, hit the like button, drop your thoughts in the comment box, and subscribe. I enjoyed today's episode. I hope you guys did too. Until next week, guys, I'll see you in the next episode of Code with Josh. Until then, Python crew.